And so just a little bit of pressure mounting here on Virat Kohli. He's obviously he's been in this situation many times before, but he's not going to get flustered. He just defends once more as Warrican bowls a very tight line. His 5th ball of the over, so we've had the 4-leg byes and the 1 so far off this over. And here he is bowling his last over, his last ball of the over. And it's defender once more. So at the end of the 85th over, it's 258 for 2 at Windsor Park. Okay, I wanted to ask you, Raunak, what was your impression of Ishan Kishan's debut in the match so far?
Yeah, I think it's not easy to keep in Test cricket to Ashwin and Jadeja, especially when it turns, and it did turn significantly on day 1 of this Test match. He's an improved keeper, Andrew. He obviously is in this team more because he offers plenty more with the bat. And he's played just 6 first-class games in the last 4 years post-COVID. So he's not really a first-class player, and he plays in the white ball team, so he's travelling most of the time when our domestic season takes place as Alec Athanas starts a new over and Jaiswal goes down for the sweep. There's a big appeal. Umpire says no, and the batters manage to go through for a leg by as the ball goes to where short third would field. But yeah, he's playing some shots. Yashasvi Jaiswal survives those, probably outside the line as Athanas is bowling round the wicket to the left-hander.
Yeah, just have a look here now. It looks like he's struck comfortably outside the line.
Yeah, so Kishan's in this team to fill the void of Rishabh Pant. And he's an improved keeper. Pant himself was not a safe keeper when he started. Neither was MS Dhoni.
Right.
But they do improve over time. Their batting is the reason that they are preferred in the Test team.
Yeah, Athanas comes in again to Kohli, and he just works that one into the gap at mid-wicket. Warrican Fields coming off the boundary in front of the scoreboard, and 1 further run to Kohli. He moves up to 7, and yeah, that was kind of what I'll come back to that in a moment. As Athanas bowls the last ball of his over, this time it's defended by Jaiswal. So at the we've got 1 more to go.
It's been a long day.
Sorry, we've got 3 more to go.
Poor Athanas, he'd love to finish off now.
Here's Athanas bowling to Jaiswal, and he's just defending. And there's no run. Picked up by Holder. Just wandering over from his position at short, it's a sort of a short square cover or short cover. Here is Athanas. And this time Jaiswal's just playing it into the gap at square leg, just by umpire Kettleborough. And it's picked up there by Chanderpaul, and 1 further run to Jaiswal. He goes on to 124.
You know what they say about keepers, right? As long as you take the ones that are nicked, you'll be fine. So he missed a few, but everything that took a nick, I know a lot of my friends in the West Indies say Ridley Jacobs was like that. He might have bobbled a few, but every time it took the edge, he caught enough. So that's all you need from your keeper.
Well, that's the thing. Ishan Kishan, he had two that he had to catch, and he got them both. Albeit one, he looked more like a juggler than a keeper.
as long as it lands eventually in the gloves.
Yeah. Right. This time I've got it right. It's the last ball of the 86th over now. Athanas round the wicket to Virat Kohli, and he's defensively playing it to mid-wicket where Blackwood does the fielding, and there's no run. So Athanas now has 1 for 32 off 11 overs. It's 261 for 2 here at Windsor Park. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know too much about these, the 2 options they had for the wicket keepers. One's a debutant and the other's Barrett's only played 5 matches.
Yep.
So, but I guess then I had a quick look and, just had a proper look at Ishan Kishan's record, and that was my thought too. It's like, well, you're missing Rishabh Pant.
Yeah.
So why not give the guy a chance? But yeah, he just looked a bit untidy. But yeah, I take your point. Everyone's.
Yeah, and I think that's the modern way now, Andrew. You're going to see a lot of keepers being picked not because they're necessarily great glovesmen. Gone are the days of your Bob Taylors or your Marshes, and you're essentially looking at guys who will add value with the bat, and you're willing to let go of the odd chances. Jaiswal defends the first ball from Warrican of a new over. He's bowling around the wicket to the left-hander, and that's just how it's going to be now. KS Bharat is not a bad keeper, but he clearly is out of his depths against good quality bowling, and that's what was exposed against Australia. So they've gone for Kishan.
Here's Warrican bowling to Jaiswal. He's struck on the pad, but he's bowling round the wicket to the left-hander, so very little chance of getting an LBW when it's bowled so straight and directly as that. So, well, actually it was perhaps pitched in line, but it was spinning down the leg side. So a leg slip as Warrican comes in once more to Jaiswal, and he's defending. Yeah, I take your point. It's like New Zealand uses Devon Conway in the T20 format, and he wouldn't even be in the top 5 keepers in New Zealand, you know. But it's enough in that format. As Jaiswal plays this one behind point, there's no one there, so Blackwood has to chase that, and he gets one further run, goes to 125. But it just gives the team more flexibility.
And, I've got a question for you. I don't know why New Zealand outsource their keepers and their batters from South Africa as much these days. Didn't happen for a lot of years, and I see a lot of them.
Yeah, well, BJ Watling was born in South Africa. Glenn Phillips was born in South Africa. Devon Conway. Here's Warrican once more, bowling to Kohli. He's defensively forward. Yeah, well, Glenn Phillips, I saw him say recently he actually doesn't like keeping wickets, but
he's gone in the field, I could see why.
He's a brilliant fielder, so fast. Here's Warrican bowling to Kohli, he's defending to cover. Brathwaite fields, and there's no run. That's the end of another over, getting through them very quickly here with 2 spinners on. It's 262 for 2 at Windsor Park. Yeah, I'd never really thought about it like that before. but on the case of BJ Watling, he was an opening batsman who kept a bit. Then he became a very good wicketkeeper and a number 7. So even Tom Blundell, you know, he's turning into becoming a really good wicketkeeper now, but he wasn't always a wicketkeeper. So yeah, it is an interesting trend. Here's Alec Athenade bowling a new over from the Botanical Gardens end, where Michael Goff is officiating from. It's played by Jaiswal out to Jason Holder, and there's no run. Here's again Athenade, and same ball, same result, no run, as Jason Holder fields at cover. Here's Athenade, and Jaiswal, it's probably about the most ugly shot he's played the whole entire innings. He looked to pull that, but didn't time it at all. And,
slowing up the surface, evidence of it slowing up.
Yeah, well, Rohit had one like that a bit earlier when he tried to play a pull shot. Here's Athenade, this time he's driving his Jaiswal back to the bowler. Yeah, it could well be Raunak. He's timed everything. He's on 125, and then suddenly he mistimes one up to mid-on when he's trying to pull it through the leg side. As he defends that next one from Alec Athenade, and just the 1 ball left in this over. So on track for a maiden over here. We can bowl this one tidily. But in fact, yes it is. It's driven up to mid-off by Jaiswal. Craig Brathwaite does the fielding, and that's the end of the 88th over. India now 262 for 2 here at Windsor Park.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
It hasn't been at a canter. Even that opening partnership took a really long time as Warrican starts new over, just took the inside half of the bat, some oohs and ahs, but it went all along the ground to Virat Kohli. So perhaps the slowness, we just spoke of Jaiswal in the last over, it's not been as easy, and it's only going to get slower. So this might be a Bunsen burner of a game. It might simmer its way, but there won't be a lot of quick run getting like Bazball has spoiled us to believe as Kohli defends one more.
It does feel a little bit attritional, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Especially as a commentator, where it's 6 balls, no runs.
Yeah, I've got you another
Same
coffee.
again.
Come on, I've got you another coffee. There you go.
Triple espresso, please. Here's Warrican bowling to Kohli, and he prods. And it's on the bounce for the second slip, which is Athanaze. Just looking at this again, Warrican gets one to turn, but Kohli played it down really beautifully, and so it was all under control. So the close catcher at second slip. Here's Warrican this time. Kohli's working it wide of mid-on. Jason Holder's there, cuts it off, but Kohli gets through for a single. He moves on to 8. Yeah, 8 off 28. He wouldn't make the England team with this scoring rate. How is the whole approach? They call it Bazball, but
Yeah.
I just call it, aggressive cricket.
Yep, sure.
How is it perceived in India?
I mean, it's exciting because I think it's coincided with success. As Warrican to Jaiswal now works it comfortably for a single, fielder a deep backward square picks up. Yeah, I think it's just because it's given us entertaining cricket, which has also been successful, and you've been able to convince players and pick players who play that way. You can only think that it's a good tactic, but I agree with you. I've spoken to Ian Chappell about it, and he hates the social terms like Bazball. He says England are playing smart cricket because they're looking to get results. That works as long as you get results. And
Yes.
with the way the Ashes stand now, England have their work cut out as Warrican bowls outside the off stump. Kohli lets it go. So if this mantra succeeds for a long term, it'll be revolutionary.
Okay, and that's the end of the 89th over. It's 264 for 2 at Windsor Park.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, if they go down in the Ashes now, all of a sudden, the genius that it seems to be the narrative around Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes, and this New England team, I think that bubble will burst a bit because Australia have just played normally, played the better cricket. They're rightly ahead in the series, so it's testing times. They're going to come to India next year, Andrew. Sorry, but they're going to come to India next year on our surfaces. If they're going to step out and hit Ashwin and Jadeja at 5, 6 and over, good luck to them.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too I find quite amusing is that the Ashes it's 2-1. So they haven't lost yet.
Sure.
They drew 1-1 in New Zealand. We beat them in one match.
Yeah.
And the funny thing come back to that, here's a new over being started. This time it's Craig Brathwaite, and Jaiswal plays a cut shot of that, gets a bottom edge, runs past slip, the Blackwood chases back, and they get through for 2 runs. In fact, it's a bye, so another bye, so he actually missed it altogether, and De Silva couldn't collect it. So Craig Brathwaite's brought himself on.
Oh, kept
went
low.
low and through his legs. Oh yes, that is a worrying sign. Unless of course you're Ashwin and Jadeja.
That's encouraging for Ashwin and Jadeja.
Here's Brathwaite bowling to Jaiswal, and he just manoeuvres that one between point and cover, picks up a single, moves on to 127. But yeah, England almost came unstuck at the Basin Reserve, making a declaration, but that declaration isn't getting as much focus because it was only New Zealand. The declaration at Edgbaston became a national talking point,
Yeah,
or a
you
global
bet.
talking point.
You bet.
The Bazball thing conspired to lose after making New Zealand follow on. Here's another run to Kohli as he just works one from Brathwaite behind square for a single. New Zealand had to follow on, and they won.
Like I said, it seems good as long as it lasts. How long it lasts, whether it leads to long-term success, that remains a question yet to be answered. So I'd like to see if that's the way they play. And that follow-on you speak of, I mean, whatever you're trying to do and achieve, that was just against your own interests. And I'm glad it caught up with them. I'm not waiting for England to fail, but it was a nice reality check, and perhaps it'll just temper their approach a little more.
Here's Brathwaite bowling to Jaiswal. who plays it all the way along the ground out to Warrakin at deep point, and there's a further run to Jaiswell. Goes on to 128. I think also it's really unfortunate that one of your colleagues actually coined the phrase, and it's just stuck. It's just like, here we go. Here's Brathwaite.
He should have probably put an IP on it or something.
Yeah,
That would have made him popular. Yeah. Andrew Miller,
I
the English writer.
I looked up Wikipedia the other day
Yeah,
to see what it said about it, and here's Brathwaite bowling to Kohli, and he's defensively forward. And that's the end of the 90th over. It's 269 for 2 here at Windsor Park. But the Wikipedia article about it is actually very interesting.
Yeah.
If you want to do a little bit of bedtime reading, I actually recommend it because it talks about all these different facets of what it actually is. So someone's gone to a lot of trouble to try and describe it. Anyway, I just, like I say, it's just to me, it's just aggressive, positive cricket.
And I learned something that apparently the phrase has now been Googled so many millions of times
Yeah.
that's a record for Google for a word that did not exist before it was first coined. So it was nowhere in the lexicon of anyone's vocabulary. Now it's been created. Now everyone's writing about it, talking about it, tweeting about it, and suddenly a word that didn't exist 3 or 4 years back has been searched millions and millions of times.
Yeah.
It's funny how the world works.
But it is funny with the words because, I thought back to, things like declarations, but like when Shane Warne was playing, he would, when Australia was batting third, he would often get asked by whether it be Steve Waugh or Ricky Ponting, how many runs do you think we need? Like, sorry, no, it'd be the other way around. He would say to them, how much do you think we need? And Warren would say, I reckon if we've got a lead of 180, that will be enough.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah. And
I'll better bowl them out in that time.
And I'm all for coaches playing an important role, but coaches in getting the runs with the wickets, right? So you call it baseball, essentially coined after the head coach. Wonder if Duncan Fletcher would have come up with the idea, or John Buchanan, or Gary Stead at New Zealand. I don't think they would have been making a headline-grabbing term for a coach with perhaps a little less public appeal.
Anyway, we're talking West Indies versus India here at the
we
moment,
are.
and it's Warrakin bowling from the river end, round the wicket to Jaiswal, who's finally been taking his helmet off. This is what I just don't understand about modern cricketers. Why do they wear helmets to spinners? Jaiswal has taken his off and put his cap on, and the spinners have been bowling for a long time as he defends another one. You see if MS Dhoni always does it. He's
he goes no
cap
headgear.
on, off, like just.
Yeah, he goes without any headgear. He just,
Here's Jaiswal defending once more, back to Warrakin. But yeah, I just don't understand. It's like super hot out there. Kohli's wearing a helmet. He's facing a spin bowler at both ends. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I just think it's a comfort thing. They get used to it. Sometimes batters get so used to how they feel under that helmet that the cap is almost a bit of a distraction, or not wearing it is a distraction. So it's perhaps just that.
Yeah. Here's Warrakin bowling to Jaiswal, wearing his first Test cap. Maybe that's part of the reason. It's just he's proud to wear his cap.
I mean, if you're Kohli and you've got all your runs wearing the helmet when you didn't need to, it's not a bad ploy as long as it gets you runs.
Yeah. Jaiswal moves on to 129 with that single off Warrakin to backward square. So there's 2 balls left in this over. So Raunak, thanks very much for joining us, giving us
My
some
pleasure.
more of your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
We're going to be having a change in commentary at the end of this over. We'll be welcoming back Andy Carter and Lockhart Sebastian. Here's Kohli facing Warrakin once more. He plays it over to mid-wicket, and there's no run. Is the crowd a little bit quiet now? It was quite lively at tea time and just after tea time, and Everything's a little bit silent at the moment. Here's, oh, it's a stumping, is it? Oh, it's a Kohli there. West Indies now, what are they going to do? Are they going to review this? We've got 8 seconds left on the DRS. They are reviewing it. I just didn't quite pick up what happened there, but I think it was an appeal for a stumping. So let's take a look at this. Kohli certainly lost his balance, there's absolutely no doubt about that. So here we go, here's Warrican to Kohli. It's a very full length ball. Oh no. He's beaten, the ball hit his pad, went to first slip. I know they're appealing for a catch. They're appealing for a catch, and it's out. He's nicked it. Kohli's nicked it. So that ball from Warrican was outside the line of off stump, or angling in from the outside the line of off stump. Touched his bat just as it was going through to his pad. He lost his balance, but he's nicked it onto his pad, and it's deflected away. What? How was that given not out? Wow, I'm sorry listeners for that. I was absolutely certain that he'd nicked that. It looked like he nicked it on ultra edge. Anyway, that is the end of the over, the 91st over. It's 270 for 2 here at Windsor Park.
And West Indies have no more reviews, Andrew. They've lost a third review now, so they have no reviews anymore. And now they have to depend now on the umpire's decision because there are no more reviews. They have burnt all 3 reviews, so they have to depend now entirely when decisions are given by the umpire. Andy, as I welcome back Andy Carter.
Thank you very much, Lockhart. Good, glad to have had Ronak with us, Ronak Kapoor, there with Andrew McLean, giving us some good insights on cricket. Here is Brathwaite, floats this one up to the left-handed batsman Jaiswal, works it down to square leg and sets up for a run. He moves on to 130. India 271 for the loss of 2. They lead by 121 runs. And interestingly, the new ball has not been taken.
Yes, and it's been due what, 11 overs now?
Yes. Would you have taken it, Lockhart? But we'll get back to that after this delivery from Brathwaite. Plays to mid-wicket, and there is no run.
Well, you have free seamers. I see no reason why you shouldn't take it instead of having the likes of Brathwaite bowling. So you have free seamers, you have to try something. See if you can pick up a wicket or two with the new ball.
Brathwaite bowls to Kohli. Kohli again strokes to mid-wicket, and there is no run. So at lunch, 146 without loss. Jaiswal was 62, Sharma was 68. They went to tea at 2, and they lost 2 wickets before the tea interval. We'll get back to that as again he strokes it, beats the man to his left at mid-wicket, Jermaine Blackwood. Warrican comes off the deep mid-wicket boundary, and the batsman crossed for 1. So Kohli is now into double figures. He's on 10, and he has faced 37 deliveries so far. He's dug in there. You can see signs of a man who wants to play a long innings. Here is Brathwaite from around the wicket. Pushes this delivery, firing it into Jaiswal, but Jaiswal was batted for 282 balls. He's on 130. Brilliant sunshine here. Good crowd at the Windsor Park as he's going down the track and driving. Finds the man at extra cover. Fields well. The over comes to an end. The end of over number 92. India 272 for the loss of 2, which is the latest score here at Windsor Park.
Yes, and as I've said, there are 3 seamers. You have Holder, you have Joseph, your quickest bowler, and you have Kemar Roach. So if you have 3 seamers, your main spinner, Cornwall is off the field. So I think skipper Brathwaite should consider taking the new ball, see if, although sometimes Andy runs might come quicker up the new ball, but at least you have to try because you're already down by 122 runs. India is leading by 122 runs. So you have to look to pick up wickets now to cut down the lead.
Yes, there's no Cornwall. You've got Alzari Joseph, you've got Holder, you've got Warwick.
Well, we see Kemar Roach limbering as well as Jason Holder.
Yes.
If you look at them, so that might be a cue to the West Indies taking the new ball very soon. You see them limbering up, Roach, Holder. Let's look at Alzari Joseph. Is he on the field? Alzari Joseph, I'm not seeing him. Let's see. Alzari Joseph not on the field. No, I'm not. I haven't seen. Have you seen him? Andy?
No, I'm searching
looking
around.
around.
Yes, no.
Yeah, so the Jason Holder and Kemar Roach are limbering up. But Alzari Joseph is not on the field. Cornwall is not on the field. So we have two substitutes. So let's see, we have
Hakeem Jordan for
Hakeem
sure.
Jordan, and let's see if it's Mackenzie. Mackenzie might be the man that's a little bit off, is it? Or is it
No,
Chandler
that's
Paul?
Chandler
Chandler
Paul.
Paul.
Mackenzie may be in the slip position. No. Where is Mackenzie? Anyway, we'll get back to that as we see Warwick can draw in Cooley forward, pushes it to seal him it off, and there is no run.
There's 9 men. Let me see now.
No, there
There are 11 men
men
on the field, yeah,
yes.
11 men.
Warwick Bose draws Cooley forward in defense, solid defense, and
It might be Mackenzie at backward point. Might be, or is he at sealing it off? Or he can't really. Trying to make it out.
here is Warwick once again. Bose a delivery on the legs of the batsman, and Cooley would have felt that he missed out there. Vacant leg side, and that's Cooley's bread and butter shot. And
Yeah, but he normally is not a batsman who sweeps, so that's why people who sweep would have swept that ball.
And there is the only man on the onside, a shot mid-wicket and a mid-on. Goes on the back foot, steers the ball to the man at squarish cover, and there is no run. So is it Imlak on the field at squarish cover?
Might be.
Because he
might
looks
be.
like a strange face on the field. Swan trying to hoist it, ball strike him on the pad. For sure, the fielder at a squarish cover is one whom we have not seen.
So it might be Tevin Imlak.
Imlak might be just the man there. Here is Warwick. Two slips on a silly point. He drives, finds Hakeem Jordan at cover, and he can score. So the over comes to an end. Over number 93 completed. India 272 for the loss of 2. They win.
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively, to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the New National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
At the age of 10, and he was training at 10. He sold Golkapas to raise funds, and then he fulfilled his dream of playing for India. He slept in a tent for weeks and months, and this youngster, and he fulfilled his dream of playing Test cricket for India. What a story.
Indeed, indeed. This is a remarkable story of someone who knows what they want and they set off to get it, and no matter what, they finally achieve it. So a great achievement by Jaswal. In his first test match, he's on 130 and he's not showing signs that he wants to throw it away anytime soon.
Well, it looks, as I said earlier, his first class highest first class score is 212. The way he's batting, he wants to surpass that, Andy, or equal it.
So we're about to see order from the Botanic Gardens end. I'm not too sure if the new ball was shown. I'm not sure if I missed it. Or is he continuing with the new ball? With the old ball, I should say.
Well, we haven't seen the umpire signal in the new ball yet, so maybe they still continue with the old ball.
Here is order. From around the wicket to bow to Jaiswal. Jaiswal is driving, not getting hold of it as well as he would have liked. Ball played there to cover, and there is no run. So Jaiswal on 130. The other debutant on the Indian side, Ishan Kishan, yet to come out. We had Alik Afanaz, the debutant for the West Indies, played quite well for 47, but you now watching Jaiswal, he would have wished that he had stayed and contributed much more, as this is staring there, opening the face of the bat. Blackwood fields quite well there at slip and prevents the ball from going past him. Had it gone past him, it will be interesting to see if Warrican from backward point would be able to get onto it. So most runs in tests, Sachin Tendulkar, 15,921, and Dravid there, and I'm sure Virat Kohli is somewhere right up there as Hoda bows a delivery outside the off stump, and the batsman allows it to go through to wicketkeeper De Silva. So here it is again, Tendulkar, Dravid, Gavaskar, Lachman, Sehwag, and then Kohli, Ganguly, Pujara, Venkata, and Mohammad Azharuddin.
A lot of outstanding batsmen on that list, Andy. You see Sehwag, you see Lachman, the man himself, Sunil Gavaskar. A lot of top batsmen in that list.
What a list of Indian players, solid players. Drive in, finds the man at mid-on, and he can score.
Well, if you look at the West Indian list, you will see a lot of great men as well in that. You probably Sobers, Chanderpaul, Lara, Richards. You will see all these names in the top 10 as well.
Yes. A player I used to admire was Mohammad Azharuddin.
Oh, he was a class. You remember he made 3 successive hundreds when he started his test career? Classy batsman.
Indeed. Here is Hoda from the Botanic Gardens end. Bows a lifting delivery, and Jaiswal watches it, a sort of tennis ball bounce on this occasion. You could see not much pace there, but the ball bouncing, and Jaiswal goes down and does some gardening, touching the spots, because there was not much pace, Lockhart.
No, the wicket there hasn't been pace since yesterday. It has been slow. The balls have spun and bounced, but it hasn't been a quick wicket.
Hoda to Jaiswal outside the off stump, goes to the wicket keeper. The over comes to an end, over number 94. India 272 for the loss of 2, and really the Indians lead by 122 runs. You know that they would want to bat only once. They wouldn't want to have any runs to get in the second innings, but in that sort of position, there's no thinking of batting in a second innings.
The only good thing is that we might have some cricket on Saturday. We should have some cricket on Saturday.
But when you think of it, at West Indies posted a score
of 300. West Indies, having won the toss, should have made at least or batted till the second day. But we didn't see that. We saw a few reckless shots, as I said. Some batsmen gave away the wicket. So but when you make 150 runs on the first day of a 5-day game, you're really thrilling.
Imagine West Indies scoring 250. The lead would only be 22 runs.
Or 300.
Yes, but 300 is much better. The more the merrier, they say. But a lead of 120.
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissy.
Let imagination, run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
Delivery from Warrican, plays it to the man coming off the deep mid-wicket boundary and limits the batsman just to the single. So Kohli moves on to 11.
In fact, and Shanda Paul has made runs for a while. Even he, by the law of averages, is due for a score. He has made runs for a while. So Shanda Paul, Craig, Afanaz, we could get Marifa himself could make runs. You just never know.
Well,
in the
let's
second
hope.
inning.
We'll really love to see the West Indies put up a fight and bring the game. And he's coming forward, a loud appeal. And the batsman who isn't really allowed to show anything, but he's showing that the ball hit his tummy. But
The match referee, you could be reported for that, and you know.
you really do not have to indicate anything. You leave the decision to the umpire.
Well, there are no more reviews, so West Indies couldn't review it.
Warrican from around the wicket, the batsman is dancing down. Jaswal gets to the pitch of the ball, and when he gets there, checks the shot and plays it back to the bowler. Watch it again on the monitor. No bats involved, and
The umpires have been good, Andy.
well, two of the best umpires, and the whole team, a very good team.
Erasmus, the third umpire, is an outstanding umpire as well.
Yes, with Richard Kettlebrew and Michael Goff, three of the best umpires in the business. Here is Warrican bowling a flatter delivery, and you could see the intensity of Jaiswal thinking of getting on with it. He's an attacking batsman by nature, and with 130 to his name so far, he seems to be looking to attack the bowling, but Warrican is bowling quite tightly so far. Bowls the delivery slightly short of the length, strokes it there to mid-on. Brathwaite picks up at mid-on. The over comes to an end. The end of over number 95. 273 for the loss of 2. The latest score here at Windsor Park.
Yeah, not a bad offer from Warrican. He had Jaswal thinking, coming down the track. There was an appeal for caught and shot then, which clearly, from looking at the monitor, there was nowhere close to the back. And he bowled reasonably well, Andy, so far, Warrican.
Yes, Warrican keeping things tight for the West Indies. He has bowled 30 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 74.
Not bad economy rate, Andy, not a bad economy.
Yes, under 3 runs per over, which is very good considering the circumstances. So no new ball as yet. Brathwaite has decided to use Warrican from one end and Holder from the other end. Holder bowls to Kohli, Kohli comes forward, plays it to the man there at cover, picks up, and there is no run. So Kohli taking his time, 45 balls faced so far, only 11 runs. Sees Jaiswal, debutant, is on 130, looking quite relaxed on the non-striker's end. Waits now Kohli for Holder. 2 slips go down. Bowls, and the batsman plays it to mid-on, and there is no run. And looks like Alzari picking up the ball there. You were looking for Alzari. I think Alzari is.
Yeah, he just came back on the field. Was he on the field all the time?
No, we looked, we searched.
And he wasn't there, yeah.
Yeah, so number 8, Alzari Joseph, there at mid-on. Kohli waits now for Holder. 2 slips go down. Backward point, cover, mid-off, mid-on. Bowls a delivery on the legs of Kohli, and he'll have to be quick and in the signs there, looks like the reaction of the West Indies players had Hakim Jordan hit the stumps, maybe.
He clearly would have been out. Clearly would have been out.
Watch it on the
Clearly.
monitor, yes.
Clearly would have been
Yes,
out.
clearly.
By a long way, he would have been run out.
So these are the sort of things that people like Jadeja on the field, they make you pay for these sort of errors, you can call them, if you can call them that. Bad judgment in running, and people like Jadeja, it turns the game around, cost you a wicket. Holder from around the wicket, bows to Jaiswal. Jaiswal gets one which tucks him up, plays it to the man at short mid-wicket, and there is no run. 130 for Jaiswal. His 100 came off 215 balls, struck 11 fours. Rohit Sharma, on the other hand, 100 came off 220 balls, 10 fours and 2 sixes. Sharma is back in the hut for 103. Here is Holder, bows a sharp rising delivery there, and Jaiswal, seeing the ball as big as the proverbial breadfruit, just allows it, ducks his head away and allows it to go through to the wicketkeeper.
Yeah, and that guy has good temperament, Jaiswal. Good temperament. You could see he is looking to bat as long as he can. He's not ruffled. He leaves the balls he shouldn't be playing at, and he does look like he wants to bat for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, India, they've got an opening partner for Rohit Sharma. Gill, not that Gill was doing a bad job, but with the advent there of Jaiswal, it will be interesting to see. I don't think they will make any changes pretty soon. They will maybe use Shubman Gill, but can tell you the over has come to an end. India 274 for the loss of 2, the latest score here at Windsor Park.
And Jason Holder has bowled very well, Andy, today. He's very canonical. He's bowled outside the off stump. He bowled one line that's looking to bowl outside the off stump. And I think he has done a good job for his captain.
Yes, Holder has bowled 14 overs, 5 maidens, none for 28. Has not taken a wicket, but he has kept things rather tight for the West Indies team, and they haven't run away with the scoring today by any means.
No, the pitch, as I say, is a slow pitch. It's not a pitch you can play through the line. You have to fight to make your runs. And I hope the West Indian batsmen are watching, so when they bat the second time, men will be prepared to buckle down and bat long, not give away wickets, fight. Sharma made our bowlers fight. Jaiswal is doing that. Look at how Virat Kohli is batting. So I hope our batsmen are learning. So when we bat a second time, we'll be prepared to bat for a very long time.
We need to occupy the crease for a very long time. As Kohli is driving to a delivery there from Warkan. Warkan does well to field off his own bowling. A firm drive by Kohli. 2 slips, sealing it off. Extra cover, squarish cover, short mid-wicket, mid-on, and Kemar Roach on the long off boundary. Bows a flatter delivery. Kohli comes forward, plays it back along the track to the bowler. The crowd absorbed in this cricket can hear a pin drop as they watch this contest.
Few more people have come in the Norbert Phillips stand, Adam Sanford stand.
And looking at the Caleb Lura and Clem John stand, it's quite a well populated Lockhart.
Yeah, it's a decent crowd, and well, after this ball.
Here is Warkan, bows to Kohli. Kohli plays it to the right of the man at mid-wicket, sets off for a run, gets it quite easily in the end. One more to Kohli, he moves on to 13, and India now 275 for 2, a lead of 125 runs on first innings.
And by West Indian cricket standards, Andrew, and this has been a good crowd. I mean, when you look at what's happening in the other territories, this crowd at the Windsor Park looks a pretty decent crowd.
Yeah, I've seen the stadiums around, and they have been bare, empty.
Nobody.
And on a Wednesday and Thursday to have that sort of crowd, it speaks volumes of the interest of Dominicans. They love their cricket. They've loved it for many years. When the Gardens, when the play was at the Gardens. Remember when Clive Lloyd and Rohan Kanhai came in 1971 to the Gardens, as this one from Warkan throws Jaiswal forward, pushes it to short leg, the over comes to an end, over 97, India 275 for the loss of 2, and Drinks is summoned onto the ground by the umpires. It's 358, so 275 for the loss of 2. Jaiswal is on 130, Kohli is not out on 13.
It is said the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Gittins Home and Garden Center, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
What do we got here?
Yeah, you got some goodies and
Little snack. That's quite nice. Might just hold that until I feel. So just having a look at some of these bowling figures. Roach, none for 31. Joseph, none for 56. Cornwall, none for 22. Warwick, 1 for 75. So it just disappeared off screen there. But it's been a long slog for these bowlers in these tough conditions for bowling and for fielding. But I've got to give credit to the crowd, Sebo. The crowd's been great, the atmosphere's been good. I read someone online saying that there's no atmosphere in the stadium. Well, that's just not even close to the truth. It's a Thursday. People sometimes forget that. I'll just go back to those bowling figures. I just brought them up. So here, Kemar Roach, 11 overs, 1 maiden, none for 31. Alzari Joseph, 11 overs, 1 maiden, none for 56. It's been expensive. Raheem Cornwall, 11 overs, 3 maidens, none for 22. Jamal Warwick, 31 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 75. So he's done well. He's only going in 2.4 runs and over. Jason Holder's bowled tightly as well. 14 overs, maidens, none for 28. Craig Brathwaite, the captain, with his off breaks, 6 overs, no batters, none for 12. Alec Athanaze is 12 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 32. The prize scalp of Rohit Sharma, and Ramon Reefers just bowled the 1 over for 1 run. So we're into the last section of play, and once again on the monitor they're showing these beautiful photos of Dominica. See, there's so many things to do here, and hoping I'll get that opportunity. So it looks like it's going to be Jermaine Blackwood to bowl now. So wow, everyone's getting a go, it seems. Blackwood's got 4 wickets to his name in Test cricket. So here he comes, Blackwood bowling to Kohli. It's a short of a length delivery, and it's played out to deep mid wicket where Warrican does the fielding in front of the Windsor Park scoreboard, and Kohli moves on to 14.
Bit surprised though that they haven't taken the new ball, or Azhar Joseph hasn't bowled for a while, Andrew.
Well, they could have taken it 17 overs ago. Here is Blackwood, Jermaine Blackwood, bowling to Jaiswal. He's bowling right arm.
Off breaks, it looks like.
Off breaks, yeah. He didn't have a classic off break action, but I think you're right. As this one is defended by Jaiswal, back to Blackwood. I think I've finally got his name sorted out.
Not Marlon, Jermaine.
Jermaine, yeah. Jermaine Blackwood. Rolling to Jaiswal. This time he's playing from the crease, forcefully. He's looking to find the gap to the man at long on, but all he could do was find Craig Brathwaite at a wide mid-off. And once again, exactly the same shot, playing off the back foot. Brathwaite fields, and there's no run. Here is again Blackwood, and this time, it bounced a little bit there. And Jaiswal was lured into a shot, but he didn't hook the fish. And that is the end of the over here. It's 276 for 2 at Windsor Park.
In fact, first over from Blackwood, the final over, it was a wide delivery, and don't know what Jaiswal was really doing. He could have easily have gotten an edge and got caught behind with that delivery, but that's what people like Blackwood do. Like, you bring them on, and sometimes they could pick up a wicket or 2 for you. But we see Kemar Roach now coming from this end, so one wondered if the new ball is going to be taken. We see Kemar Roach marking out his run, and he's going to be coming from the northern end.
That's a good question. I haven't seen the new ball being handed over yet, I don't believe.
You will from the media center end, number 24, Kemar Roach.
Bowling with the old ball, okay. Anyway, here's Roach running away from us, approaching the crease, and bowls to Kohli. And Kohli reaches for that one and drives it out through the covers. And Jamal Warrican comes round from a deep point to collect, and Kohli has time to pick up 2 more runs. He goes to 16, batting at a very sedate pace of 16 off 53 balls. Of course, there's no requirement to score a run a ball. We've got plenty of time. Here's Roach to Kohli, and once again playing away from his body. Squarer this time, and Warrican comes in to field that, and Kohli goes through for a single. They're a little bit surprised that, I don't know, sometimes you see this, they give the bowler an over to sort of get ready and then go for the new ball, but it just seems a bit odd to me that they haven't, I don't think they've taken the new ball anyway.
No, we didn't see any signal. In fact, the scoreboard has 98.2 overs, so they surely haven't taken the new ball.
So Roach changing his line to the left-handed Jaiswal, bowling around the wicket, and Jaiswal is forward as he's been so often in this epic innings, which is now up to 305 balls. Just playing defensively into the leg side, where the replacement Akeem Jordan does the fielding. Here is Roach once more, bowling to Jaiswal. It's a good tight line and length delivery, played on its merits by Jaiswal, and it's no run again. So tidy start to this. Oh, yeah, it's just flashed up on the screen. The second new ball's available. So if the TV says it hasn't been taken, I think we can safely assume it hasn't.
Well, the scoreboard is at 98.4 overs. If it was taken, they would have taken down the 98 and you'd put 1 or 2, right?
I see, yes. Here is Roach, bowling this time again to Jaiswal. He's defensively forward. Ball rolls its way slowly up to mid-on, where Jason Holder reaches down from that great height that he possesses, and there's no run. There's some murmuring in the crowd at the moment.
They probably want wickets, and they want action. They want wickets, the crowd.
Oh, I've just spotted an Indian flag in the crowd. Is it over there?
Yes.
Above the Dominica sign.
Yeah.
Here's Roach, last ball of the over. And that's outside the line of off stump. Jaiswal leaves it alone, and so at the end of the 99th over of the innings, it's 279 for 2 here at Windsor Park.
Yes, tight over from Kima Roach. We look at Jason. Jermaine Blackwood's going to bowl a second over, Andrew. So no sign yet of the new ball, the second new ball. Still experimenting, Craig Brathwaite, with people like Jermaine Blackwood, looking to pick up a wicket from like Afanaz did earlier, and although Ali Afanaz I thought bowled very well, but using Blackwood, let's see if he can pick up a wicket, and then maybe take the second new ball.
It's quite interesting too, if you look at all, apart from Joseph, all of these guys have got really solid economy rates.
Correct.
So they haven't made it easy for India. I think we should give them some praise in that sense. Is Blackwood bowls to Kohli and he whips it through the leg side out to Warrican, who seems to be forever out on the boundary and doing a lot of fielding out there, and there's 1 run to Kohli. But yeah, the West Indies bowlers have toiled away hard here, and they haven't made life easy for India. So I think we can at least say that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a change here in the comments position. It's goodbye to Lockett, Sebastian for today. He'll be back with us again tomorrow. And Heston Charles will be joining me just in a moment. So Blackwood's next delivery is played defensively by Jaiswal. So just looking at this field, we've got a deep mid-on, a mid-wicket, a deep square leg on the leg side. This time Jaiswal cuts and he beats the man at cover, but he didn't time it as well as he might have liked to, and Warrican gets round and restricts the scoring to 2. And Jaiswal moves on to 132. Good afternoon, Heston.
Good afternoon, Andrew, and good afternoon to the listeners of Cotton Drive and providing technical support. Local radio station Kai FM. It's good to be back. And Jaiswal certainly has been living up to the standards of his name. Jaiswal is like a wall.
Indeed he is. He defends another one up to Brathwaite. Wow, his coach was the original wall, Rahul Dravid. Well, apart from Pink Floyd, of course.
Yes.
Here's Blackwood going over the wicket this time. And Jaiswal just plays that one into the ground. That's the end of the over. Blackwood second, and it's 100 overs bowled now. India are 282 for 2 at Windsor Park.
Yeah, I was just wondering, probably the agenda, what was the plan by West Indies when they gave Roach?
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively. to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the New National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
Overs in this innings.
So just to get him in the group.
Yeah, he's bowled a 4-over spell, a 3-over spell, and then another 3-over spell. So he actually hasn't bowled very much. So that's the best I can offer Heston. As Roach comes in with the new ball in his hands, and as Kohli has struck on the pad, he's certainly an appeal.
Yeah.
And just watch the umpire's signal, and indeed it is. It's a leg by. The ball ran down.
Could have been
fine
going
leg.
down leg, missing the leg stump.
Yeah, well, he came from very wide on the crease too, didn't he? Oh, it's going well down leg side.
Yeah.
Hit Kohli on the knee roll, but it's just the angle. Roach has actually got I've noticed he's got a very unusual style. When he's bowling over the wicket to a right-hander, he goes wide on the crease to the right-hander. Then when he's bowling to the left-hander, he gets in really close to the stumps when he's bowling around the wicket. I've never seen this before. Here he is again, Roach to Jaiswal, and with the line that he's running in on with the angle, it's almost as if he's running towards the slips. And at the last second, he's straightened so he doesn't run on the wicket.
Yeah.
It's quite unique. And of course, the angle that we're sitting on with our commentary position, you can see exactly where he's running. Here he is again, Roach. He turns at the top of his mark, charging in with the new cherry in his hand. That one's outside off stump, and Jaiswal, as he's done so often in this innings, just let it sail through to the keeper. So
this young man, Jaiswal, he has proven to be a young man with a lot of mental fortitude. Very disciplined.
Very disciplined, yeah. I mean, even just to get off the mark yesterday, it took him 13 balls, but it didn't faze him. Here's Roach to Jaiswal, and he's on the back foot this time to a good length delivery, or short of a length delivery, and it's defended and there's no run.
Yeah, he was on 130, and he stayed there and faced 1 and 3 overs on 130, and he still wasn't phased. It didn't bother him that he remained on 130 for 1 and 3 overs passed, and he just there. He's just there.
Yeah, you use the word mental fortitude. The other one would be like just temperament.
Temperament, yes.
Here's Roach to Jaiswal. He's looking to drive but doesn't time it. It's fielded at mid-off there. There's Brathwaite there at mid-off. Yes, he's the captain. But yes, he seems to have a very, very good temperament to me, and determination too. As you know, when he got to 100, it was a huge celebration. And of course there was going to be, it's his first test, but I think it was a outpouring of relief and emotion as he lets this next one from Roach go through to the keeper. That's the end of the 101st over of the innings. It's 283 for 2 here at Windsor Park.
Yes, 132 in 318 balls, Andrew. Jaiswal.
I doubt whether I've faced 118 balls in my whole cricket playing career. And I'm 47.
There you go. So it says something about this young man, and other young developing cricketers looking at this have a lot to learn by just watching Jaiswal.
Well, the other thing too, as we've mentioned many times, it actually doesn't come as a surprise. He's played 15 first-class matches and scored 900s.
Wow!
There's a first-class average of 80 before this match. So it's going to be Alzarri Joseph, who's been a bit expensive. Well, very expensive compared to all the other bowlers. He's an economy rate of 5.09 off his 11 overs so far. But it hasn't been a match for the quick bowlers, it must be said. Here's Joseph from the Botanical Gardens end, bowling to Kohli. with 3 slips. Kohli just has that one come onto the face of the bat, pushes it out into the point area, and he takes a single.
That's a good sign for Indian cricket, that you have a young cricketer so solid, and so early in his career he can show so much maturity. Certainly that signals well for Indian cricket.
It does indeed. So here's Joseph, right arm quick bowler, over the wicket to Jaiswal, and that one squares him up slightly. Athenade comes across and cuts that one off, and it's just 1 run to Jaiswal. He moves on to 133. With him is Virat Kohli on 19. So it'll be interesting to see if Alzarri Joseph, who's probably the quickest of the West Indian bowlers, can get anything out at all out of this wicket.
Nothing at all. He hasn't seen any results. We hope that before the day is over, he can probably get a wicket for the West Indies.
They've just taken out a slip too, so it's now 2 slips for Joseph to Kohli, and that's played nicely off the back foot, down behind point. It's Ramon Reefer out there who picks it up, and 1 further run to Kohli, he moves on to 20.
Situations like this, you ask yourself, what would be the ploy to sort of get the batsman a little bit off? What do you do? I mean, you're gonna try something, and if you are the captain of West Indies, you try to figure out, especially Jaiswal, you try to find out exactly how do you get around him.
Well, I would say crowd the batsman. That's one approach. It's Joseph comes in again to Jaiswal, and Jaiswal's edging, but it bounces just in front of Blackwood at second slip, who makes a great stop, and there's no run. But that's the thing that I've noticed with Ben Stokes, like when there was nothing in the wicket at Rawalpindi, for example, last year in December, he just crowded the batsman, and that's what created the pressure, just having many fielders. There's no pressure on these guys out here.
It's easy cricket. They're cruising,
Yeah.
they relax, they're chilling.
Who, the bowlers or the fielders or the batsmen? As Jaiswal plays another one, there's a late dab and it bounces just in front of Blackwood again, and there's no run. So 1 ball to come on this over. So Joseph working up a bit of pace here.
Yeah. And I like what he's trying. He's trying to get it away from the batsman. Ball into its field. He has 2 slips in place, and and he's trying to see if he can get the batsman to edge the ball.
Here's Joseph steaming in, and this time it's a false shot from Jaiswal. He looked to drive that one, missed it, and it went through to Joshua De Silva behind the stumps. So that's the end of the over. Very good over there from Alzarri Joseph. A few false shots, and the score here at Windsor Park is 286 for 2.
Well, it's after 4 in the afternoon, I believe, and it's the time when most people leave work in Dominica, Andrew, and so persons are encouraged to come to the Windsor Park. Don't go home. There's still a lot of cricket left, and we have a man who has scored 130 odd runs, looking to score 150, and he's looking good. So you can come and see some good cricket, even if you're somewhat in West Indies, but you can come and see some good cricket.
Oh, and you've got Virat Kohli, one of the world's greatest batsmen, at the other end.
Here
is Roach bowling to Kohli, and once more he just takes a run to point. There's a gap there. He moves on to 21. It's very interesting though, isn't it, that you just look at a guy like Virat Kohli. I mean, I know he hasn't had a great record in the last few years in Test cricket. I don't know exactly what his statistics are, but I know he's had like 100 in the last 3 years. But I don't think he's nervous or anything because he's so experienced. But it's the way he's going about his innings. He's just turning the strike over.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Here is Roach, bowling to Jaiswal, and he plays that into the leg side. He thinks about a run, but Kohli quickly sends him back. probably pretty good call, because I think Coley would have been run out by a mile there if he had carried on. But no, Coley, he's just going about it in such a workman-like manner. You know, there haven't been any flourishing drives or anything. He's just taking his time. He's 59 balls now.
That's very crucial. A bowler bowling a maiden over doesn't mean that you're a bad batsman.
Here's Roach bowling to Jaiswal and leaves it alone outside off stump. You know, no need to play that. Says if you want to bowl there, fine, bowl there. It's a new ball. If you want to waste it, waste it.
Exactly so. I mean, so most batsmen feel that if a bowler bowl a maiden over, it reduces their score rate, or it reduces their status. No, it doesn't do anything to you. Once you have your wicket in hand, you're still there to see another day.
Yeah, well, we remarked earlier today on commentary when Holder bowled the first over today to Jaiswal, he was able to let all 6 balls go. Here's Roach bowling to Jaiswal. He struck on the pad. It's a big shout, but umpire Kittleborough is unmoved. And of course, the West Indies don't have any reviews left now. Kemar Roach, if you really thought that one was out, he hasn't moved from the middle of the pitch.
So there's no reviews left for West Indies. Wow, this is a tough one.
Unfortunately not.
This is tough.
See a replay here, so...
That one looked very close to me. Looked very close to me.
Oh yeah, hit a back leg. That's always a sign.
Yeah.
Yep. I think... Oh, that's completely out.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, you got a feel for Kemar Roach there. No wonder he was disappointed. So that was it was a ball bowled from round the wicket, listeners. Jaiswal was beaten. The ball hit his back leg. The ball would have hit the top of middle stump, and it was given not out by the umpire. And everyone on the whole ground now knows it was out. Here's Roach. He'll be fired up. And Jaiswal's driving, getting off strike as Brathwaite does well to field the ball and hit the stumps, but Jaiswal was comfortably home. Now that's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Very heartbreaking. I mean, Roach has been laboring and, you know, working so hard and not getting paid. Andrew, how that feels, working so hard and not getting paid.
Isn't there a Dolly Parton song about that? Actually, just a slight correction there. It probably was hitting the bails between middle and...
Umpire's call.
No.
Close one.
Well, no, it wasn't umpire's call. It was out.
It was out.
Yeah, it was out. Yeah.
Well, they had no reviews left, so they wasted the reviews.
There's the next one from Roach to Coley, sails through to the keeper. He's left it alone. That's 282 for 2 at the end of the 103rd over here at Windsor Park. But the other thing too is...
I think the umpires may have thought that it would probably miss leg coming around the wicket, swinging into the batsman.
But this is what I was saying earlier about with the way Roach bowls. You know, like Stuart Broad, for example, goes wide on the crease when he bowls round the wicket, and the ball angles in. But Roach gets very close to this. It's a very unusual action. I've never seen anyone do that. So he doesn't have the same amount of angle. But the telltale sign there was a ball at the back leg. When it hits the back leg, it's generally out, unless it's too high. But what I was going to say is Richard Kettleborough is recognised as probably one of the premier umpires in the world. He must be tired now, right? He's been out there all day. I mean, we're sitting here in the commentary box, you know, with a nice breeze. There's no sun on us. Here's Joseph beginning a new over, and Jaiswal lets that one go to through to Joshua De Silva, and there's no run.
Well, much to the disappointment of West Indies, they would have loved to see the back. They have Jaiswal. He has just been there like a wall, and here he lives to see another day, Andrew. Yeah.
Well, it felt, just carrying on that analogy, it felt like Roach felt like he's been running against a brick wall all day. He knocked a brick out of it, and it's stuck.
It's stuck.
Here is Joseph this time. roll into Jaiswal. He's playing from the crease to a ball on the line of probably middle stump, and it's defended away up to mid-off, where the replacement, Akeem Jordan, does the fielding, and there's no run. So, yeah, very spread field here. I guess it's understandable. Jaiswal's on 134. But I don't really understand why there's a deep square leg, for example. I think you could have a short cover or something. And here's Joseph to Jaiswal, and he works this one off his hip. Roach is down there. I'm surprised he didn't hurl that one in to the keeper even harder after being hard done by in the previous over. But that's the problem with the review system, isn't it though? Like, you can't review it and you can see it's out. The whole crowd can see it's out, so the umpire must feel terrible as well.
The review, yes, it has improved cricket, but there's two sides to it, because it also has caused umpires to be a little bit laid back in terms of, if it's close, they just don't give it out, because they figure there's a review system to confirm whether it's out. That's what modern day cricket is like these days, because of the fact that you have the review. Back then, I think the umpire would have given it out.
Here's Joseph again to Kohli, and always timed that beautifully, but straight to the man at mid-off. It's the skipper, Craig Brathwaite, and there's no run. These West Indian players look tired, don't they?
They would be.
There's no talk, there's very little energy in the field.
The sun has not been kind, Andrew. I mean, from Manning, from the first ball, the sun came out in all its glory, and it has been hot out there.
Yeah, beautiful day here in Roseau. Here's a Joseph. This time Kohli's working it off his hip, and he looks to come back for a second as Warrican comes racing in. Kohli there look eager to get to it, but
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
here at Windsor Park.
280 for 2 here at the Windsor Park. The crowd is coming in, trickling in, as we move to the 5 o'clock hour there in the afternoon. The shadows are creeping in. West Indies in a lot of trouble. 290 for 2. India is in a very commanding position. We saw a lifeline being offered there to Jaiswal. On the review, it appeared that it may have been out, but West Indies was without review, and the Carter will give us more of his thoughts on this. It's good to have him back to the microphone here this afternoon there at the Windsor Park Stadium, and we're just seeing Kohli, they're trying, just dabbing this one there, and he gets 2 runs. So he moves on to 24. Let's welcome Andy Carter. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Heston, Charles. And India going along their merry way, 292 for 2. Jaiswal is still there on 135. Survived a very confident appeal, and the review showed that there were 3 red marks, pitching in line, hitting the stumps. But unfortunately, the West Indies had no more reviews, and the decision stood as not out, as Roach Bowes delivery outside the off stump to Kohli. Kohli allows it to go through to the wicketkeeper. So at tea, 245 for 2 of 81 overs. Jaiswal was on 116. Kohli was not out on 4. Since then, Kohli has advanced to 24, having faced 64 deliveries, Jaiswal moving from 116 to 135. He has already faced 330 deliveries. Here is Roach. Bowls a quick delivery, just slightly back of a length. Batsman covers up Kohli and pushes it to Afanaz, who is fielding at squarish cover.
Yes, I'm just thinking of the bowling action of Roach and why the decision umpire may have not given it out, probably because he is coming around the wicket, swinging away from the batsman. Probably that may have been the reason why the umpire had a bit of doubt.
Well, whatever influenced him, he gave the decision not out, and clearly the replay showed for everyone to see on the big screen that the batsman was
clearly
out. The ball was hitting the stumps as Roach bowls outside the off stump. Kohli allows it to go through to the wicketkeeper. So a 52-run partnership between Jaiswal and Virat Kohli. So a 229-run partnership, an opening partnership, breaking the previous partnership in the West Indies for India. The previous record was held by Virender Sehwag and Wasim Jaffer, who made 159 in St. Lucia in 2006. And today we saw 229 scored by Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma. Outside the off stump once again from Roach, and Kohli allows it to go through to the wicketkeeper. So Sharma, the captain, out, caught by the wicketkeeper De Silva of Afanaz for 103. Faced 221 balls, struck 10 fours and 2 sixes, and then we saw Shubman Gill go in when the score was 240. Caught by Afanaz at slip of the bowling of Warrican for 6. Since then, these two have added some over 50-run partnership. Here's Roach. The batsman is driving firmly to Roach, who fields well in his follow-through. Firmly struck there by Kohli, and Roach in his follow-through did quite well to hold on to the ball. The over comes to an end. It's the end of over number 105. 292 for the loss of 2. That's the latest score here at Windsor Park.
Yes, Roach, he has been laboring very hard, and he would feel a little bit dismayed. Andrew Carter, he would feel a little bit disappointed that he didn't see the back of Jaiswal. And we're coming down to the end of play for today, Andy Carter. We're in the last session, and right at this time we would expect more persons to come in the park, because 4 o'clock is the normal time when people leave work in Dominica. The shadows have crept in considerably, Andy Carter, you can see it, and we would encourage persons, rather than going home, just come to the park and view the last session of play.
So it will be Zari Joseph from the Botanic Gardens end. Windsor Park bathed in sunshine. Bright sunny day. We've been blessed with 2 beautiful days, and the cricket is absorbing. As here is Alzari, bowls a delivery, which the batsman is steering it down to the third man boundary. 4 runs it is, on the back foot, and playing it down to third man. Another boundary there to Jaiswal. He moves on to 139, and India now 296 for the loss of 2.
Yeah, Jaiswal again. He has begun a new innings, Andrew Carter. Since he scored his 100, it's like he started all over again from 0. You can see his whole approach.
Yeah, he has batted quite well, quite resolutely, not wanting to throw his innings away. Seems to have an enormous appetite for runs. He's making his debut, but has had a wonderful domestic season, averaging over 80 runs over in India. As this one is playing at a loud appeal. Umpire Michael Goff remains unmoved. There isn't any more reviews from the West Indies, and let's watch it on the monitor.
The bat hit the ground. Yes. This is not out.
So no edge there, but yeah, West Indian players excited. They would want to get a breakthrough. You can see the spikes when the bat hits the ground. No reviews remaining for the West Indies. India remain 3 reviews. So it's all in India's favor now. 296 for 2. Azari Bose, the batsman is driving. Jaiswal misses. The ball goes through to the wicket keeper. So one of the few occasions that Jaiswal has played and missed, and the ball was there seemingly for Jaiswal, and he may have been disappointed not to have got bat onto that ball.
Very disappointed indeed.
So a lead of 146 runs on first innings as we approach the end of the second day's play. Canterbury seem to want to forget that the West Indies dismissed yesterday for 150, and India at the close of play yesterday were 80 without loss. They went on today to get to lunch at 146 without loss. So Jaiswal was on 62 and Sharma was 68, and then they lost 2 wickets. Sharma going for 103 when the score was 229, and Shubman Gill going for 6 when the score was 240. So they went to tea at 245 for 2, with Jaiswal not out on 116, Kohli not out on 4. Here is Alzari Joseph, gets a short rising ball, and the batsman Jaiswal gets on top of it, plays it to cover. Afanaz is in the way and they can't score.
Yes, and that's one he just dabbed it, and he sort of reset himself, sticking to bat. Should we say another inning? And he kind of seen that the replay showed that he was out. Is it safe to say that he's batting another inning?
Well, you could say that. The highest scores on debut, Dhawan, Sharma, and now Jaiswal has joined them. That's illustrious group of players, Indian players. Joseph goes to Jaiswal. Jaiswal covers up, plays it to mid-wicket. Chandapal fields, and there is no run. The over comes to an end. Over number 106, 296 for the loss of 2. And that's the latest score here at Windsor Park.
Yes, and India is in a very dominating, and again I should say, reiterate, Andy, dominating position. Almost 150 lead. Should I say, it's about that. Is it 150 lead, I believe? Almost 150 lead. Or 148 about. Yeah, 148 runs, and that is certainly a good position to be in. So they may look to bat tomorrow up until lunch, probably up until tea, having probably close to 350 to 400 lead, and probably declare, Andy.
Well, I'm not too certain if India would be thinking of any declaration pretty soon, unless if they are thinking of if the weather will hold fair for the final 2 days. They may want to get this match over in case there is rain. But the first delivery from Roach is driven, and fieldsman there at cover prevents any run. But you watch the Grayson Shillingford and Irvin Shillingford stand, well populated. The Clem John and Caleb Loras stand well populated, and I think the Dominica Cricket Association should be well pleased with the attendance. Again, he pushes it to cover, straight to Warwican, and again he can score. On a midweek, Wednesday and Thursday, to have this sort of crowd.
It's very encouraging, yes.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and
like?
this game would have gone to that stage, how it would be like. And with Afanaz still to bat in the second innings, I dare say if the game goes to Saturday and Afanaz is anywhere around batting, this place will be packed.
Yeah, and especially the folks from Granby. Good afternoon to the folks from Granby.
Roach Bose, well up delivery. Kohli drives, well knocked down there by the bowler. Fielding well in his follow through. Seems to be a good fieldsman to his own bowling. And it's not an easy task to be a fast bowler running, and in your follow through, the ball is coming back rapidly at you, and you've got to react very quickly. He reacts quickly. There's Roach. Here is Roach once more. Balls to Coley. Coley gets a delivery right in the channel there. Corridor of uncertainty, they call it. And this one stung the wicketkeeper.
Yeah, and the silver looked like this one sting him.
And he's calling for some treatment there. You can see someone is leaving the Billy Doctor Pavilion and will attend to the silver. And
does that say something about Roach, Andy? Does that say something about him, that he could cause the ball to sting the wicketkeeper? Does that say that Roach still have some fire?
not much fire, but sometimes it's where you actually collect the ball. If you do not collect it in the sweet spot, as they would say, of the gloves, you could get, and not in the webbing or thereabout, you would feel that pain, because Roach is not express pace, and he has collected balls from Alzari Joseph without much stinging happening to him. But on that occasion, he may have just not got the gloves in the right position, and that caused him some
Probably
pain.
was a bit too casual.
I doubt it's casual. I wouldn't really put it too casual. But Kohli and Jaiswal, they used this opportunity to have a drink, have a word, mop up their brows. You can see them with the towels. They've taken the opportunity to take a breather, as you would say.
Yeah.
Kohli has faced 72 balls for his 24. Jaiswal 336 balls for 139. A mammoth innings there for Jaiswal on his debut, and anyone making their debut in any sort of cricket, could be schoolboy cricket, and you have 139 to your name, you have to be feeling quite proud.
Of course, you'll be feeling quite proud for this, accomplishment. This is a major accomplishment for any young man coming into cricket. Your first test, and you're scoring your 139 not out, Andy. So that says you can go on to score 150 or even 200 if you please. I say good afternoon to the management and staff of Sutton Place. And Andy,
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
And you are listening to the commentaries via Cut and Drive. Here is Kemar Roach. Goes to Kohli. Kohli again getting a delivery right in that channel there, and allows it to go through to the wicket keeper. So we've seen some work done on Joshua De Silva's fingers, and his back there. Did not have to leave the field. Holder there at slip, ushering the boys on. The vice captain is at second slip, Jumin Blackwood. Akeem Jordan mid-off. Craig Brathwaite, the captain, at mid-on. As he comes forward, is Kohli. Strokes the ball to the man at cover. The over comes to an end. Over number 107, India 296 for 2. They lead by 146 runs, and that's the latest score here at Windsor Park. 296 for 2 India.
Yeah, 296 for 2, Andy, and I'm thinking that the fieldsmen should cheer on the bowlers a little bit more. The bowlers are laboring very hard, and they when you look at the stats of the bowlers, they have been quite moderate in terms of the scoring against them. They're not expensive, if you please. I mean, if you look at it, they're quite disciplined, and I've found that the fieldsmen a little bit too dejected, if you please. Cheer on the bowlers, move them on to get a wicket, if you please. Cheer them on to get a wicket.
So we're about to see a change of bowling from the Botanic Gardens end. We're about to see Raymond Rifa, left arm medium fast bowler, operating from the Botanic Gardens end, and you go to the left-handed batsman Jaiswal, who is on 139. Keep on reminding you that India lead by 146 runs as we come to the close of play on the second day of the cycle pure Agapafi test match played here at Windsor Park. Here is Rifa, who's a delivery which the batsman allows to go through to wicketkeeper Joshua De Silva.
I'm just getting a message here that suggests because it was the second new ball, it would mean that West Indies would have re-effected their reviews. Andy, is there any truth to that?
Well, you are the umpire. You should be able to give me that sort of information. I don't think so, and I don't think you should repeat something like that. Being an umpire yourself, pushes it on the onside, sets off for a run. The fieldsman shies at the stumps, misses, and the batsman scamper for a run. Jaiswal gets another run. He is 140. And it was with the new ball that Roach had the wicket, which was not given, a judge not out. So you could have made your own inference there that he had the new ball, and had there was a review, you would have taken it.
Yes.
So you make your own conclusion. You do not get drifted and sidelined by
anybody
people
else
on WhatsApp. And this
they like to do that, Andrew.
Yes, well, you've got to be careful, Aston.
Yes.
You are an umpire, you should know better than that.
Yes.
The lead is 147.
I like that rapport.
297 for the loss of 2. Kohli on 24. Jaiswal on 140. The West Indies have decided to try Raymond Rifa, bowling over the wicket, left arm. Bowls a well up delivery, pushes it to the left of Hakim Jordan, comes in quickly, but can't prevent the batsman from crossing. They say the batters right now, so
they say batters because women play cricket, so they sort of have a generic term, Andy, to ensure that you accommodate the women. So you say batters.
Yes, I
because ladies play cricket.
I still believe when the ladies are playing, you use batters, and when the men are playing, you use batsmen. But
I agree.
I think the ICC has recognized that batters is what that will be used. As Rifa bowls to Jaiswal, he plays it to mid-on, and there is no run. So most runs in tests, again, shown on the screen.
Tendulkar.
15,921 runs.
That's a lot of runs.
But a lot of test matches, 200 test matches. Durability at its best. Here is Rifa. Bowls a delivery, which on this occasion doesn't rise, it keeps low. Bowls goes through to the wicketkeeper. The over comes to an end. Over number 108, 298 for the loss of 2 India. The latest score here at Windsor Park.
Yeah, Tendulkar also had the benefit of playing a lot of cricket. He got into Test cricket very young, Andy Carter. So that gave him the opportunity. He had the privilege, to play a lot of matches, and that allowed him to score a ton of runs. We are here at the Windsor Park there, and West Indies is 298 for 2. The crowd is trickling in, and people are coming to get the last session, the remaining overs of the last session of play. We are really hoping that probably there may be a sort of a fighting spirit for Qatar, something that can really bring the fans back here tomorrow, because it's so important that there is a contest. Because if there's no contest, people will be discouraged. But if there's a contest, there is something to look for. There is something to pay your ticket for. And people want something to pay the ticket for. And hence, West Indies need to put up a fight. They need to show some resistance. They need to be a little bit more defiant. And that would encourage the crowds to come out, Andy.
Yes, indeed. I certainly agree with you. The more fight the West Indies can show, the more the public will come out and support. But we see the introduction or the reintroduction of Jomel Warrican from the River End. There's both 31 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 75. Balls to Kohli, the first delivery, stroked there to cover. Alec Afanaz fields well, and there is no run.
The fielding has been considerably good by West Indies.
Warrican pushing this one through. Batsman Kohli playing back, but keeping his eyes on the ball, and in the end playing it quite well.
Yeah.
Warrican again draws Kohli forward, good length delivery. Kohli
looking circumspect if he plays.
In defense.
Yeah.
25 years, 79 deliveries he has faced. As we come to the end of play on the second day of the Cycle Pure Agabafi test, first in the 2-match series. As Jomel Warrican.
Yeah.
Warrican bowls a delivery which the batsman just plays it with a dead bat in front of him. Wicketkeeper darts from behind the stumps, picks up, and there is no run. Warrican again from around the wicket. He's driving his Kohli, beats the man at extra cover. Down to the boundary it goes. A glorious shot coming forward to delivery, flighted, and Kohli playing it beautifully through extra cover for 4. Moves him on to 29.
A glorious shot by Kohli. He is not the batsman that you should allow to settle on you, because if he settles on you, you will live to regret it. So West Indies need to be very careful. They need to put Kohli under more pressure.
So there is a squarish cover, extra cover, man on the long off boundary, and the mid-on comes forward, plays to seal him off, and there is no run. The over comes to an end. At the end of over number 109, India 302 for the loss of 2.
Yes, and that's the position that it only takes a brave fieldsman to field there. Have you ever fielded there, Ndikata? You have to be brave to field in this position at this city mid-on. And so we see Kohli getting into his form, and he's settled now. He's on 29, and Ndikata he's considered the world's best batsman, and to have this man there certainly is more trouble for West Indies.
Well, India lost their second wicket when the score was on 240. So these two have added some 62 runs between them. As the batsman is guiding this one. Down to third man it goes. They run 1. German Blackwood gives chase from slip, but the batsman cross comfortably for 2 runs. Jaiswal playing this one late. There they're showing the wickets. Sharma going, caught the silver, bowled Afanaz for 103, playing bat onto the fly, and a good catch taken there by Joshua De Silva.
Very good catch. He was very alert to take this catch.
Giving Afanaz his first test wicket in his first test match. Here is Rifa. The batsman is across, Jaiswal, playing it straight to cover, and there is no run. And then you saw Shubman Gill caught Afanaz at slip, bowled by Warrican, coming forward, pushing with hard hands at the ball, and Afanaz holding on to the catch and congratulated there by his teammates. Here is Rifa from the southern end. Goes to Jaiswal. Jaiswal is whipping this ball down to mid-wicket. Chandapal will come off the mid-wicket boundary and will get 1 run. Jaiswal moves on to 143, 305 for the loss of 2. India lead now by 155 runs.
Yeah, I would think that West Indies should try Holder. He has been very moderate, you know. It has not been expensive and has a few maiden overs. He may just create trouble for the Indian batters.
Well, De Silva, the wicketkeeper, comes up to the stumps as Rifa goes now to Kohli. Kohli is playing this one beautifully, beats the man at cover. There's a chase there for the fieldsman. They run 1 and they come back for 2. And Kohli is a man who runs their first run very quickly. And if there's any hint of a second, Kohli is the man who will capitalize and get the second. He gets 2 runs, he moves to 31. And India now 307 for the loss of 2.
Kohli looking good.
Here is Rifa. This one beats him as he was trying to guide it past the slip down to the vacant third man region. Misses, and a good clean take there by wicketkeeper De Silva.
Good.
Fine take. And it's Raymond Rifa, we can see the scoreboard saying 3 overs and 1 ball remain in the day's play. And it's all, we'll all await because the clock is ticking on to 4:59. Goes to Kohli. Kohli pushes it on the offside. The Hakim Jordan runs across to his left. Can't prevent a run. Kohli gets another run. And 308 for the loss of 2. And Kohli is 32. Jaiswal is 143. India 308 for the loss of 2. The latest score here at Windsor Park.
Yeah, I think De Silva noticed that Kohli is.
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively, to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the New National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
To 5, here is Kohli driving, finds Hakim Jordan at cover, and there is no run. So Kohli, a patient knock, 32 years, waits now, gets a good delivery from Warrican, pushes forward, and there is no run. Crowd absorbed into this proceeding so far. Intense cricket as Kohli gets 1, he works it to the right there of the substitute fieldsman. Looks like Tevin Imlak, and the batsman crossed for 1. So 1 more to Kohli. He's on 33. Jaiswal is 143. India lead by 159 runs. So from the what is on the scoreboard, after this one we'll have 2 more overs, and it will complete a successful day for India, having resumed overnight on 80 without loss. They're on 309 for the loss of 2. Here is the Jaiswal coming down the track, and maybe Warrican seeing him and trying to push the ball wide, but Jaiswal was equal to it, got the full face of the bat onto the ball. Here is Warrican once again. Bowles is driving and missing. Delivery just outside the off stump. The left-handed batsman essaying a drive. Not showing any signs of tiredness there. Jaiswal 143. Gets the delivery, which he plays back and across, pushes it to mid-off, hold the fields. The over comes to an end. At the end of the over, India 309 for the loss of 2. The latest score here at Windsor Park.
Yes, India would certainly be, relieved to get a wicket. West Indies will be relieved to get a wicket there, Andy Carter. I mean, they have been labouring. They had a close call there with Roach to Jaiswal, and a lot of persons felt, and even when we saw the review, that was a life offered to Jaiswal. And so to see the back of Jaiswal would have been refreshing for the West Indies team. And they are out there labouring, and it looks like India may have a solid lead going into tomorrow, Andy Carter. We go into Friday. Tomorrow is Friday, and we're hoping Dominicans like Friday, Andy Carter. They call it TGI Friday.
We're about to see Alec Afanaz from the Botanic Gardens end. He had the wicket of Rohit Sharma, and he's struck in front. A loud appeal, the crowd roars, and the umpire, Michael Goff, remains unmoved. It's one we would love to see again on the monitor. Pitched on and hitting the back leg.
Oh my God. Andy, what do you think about that?
Here is another delivery from Afanaz. Afanaz is bowling there on the legs of Kohli. Kohli strokes it to mid-wicket. Warrican picks up. Kohli gets another run. 34 he is. Jaiswal is 143. And a very close one. That's all I can say at this point in time.
Very close, indeed. Very close.
Here is Afanaz, bowling from around the wicket. Right arm off break. Goes on the back foot is Jaiswal. Finds Roach at squarish cover, and he can score. Monumental knock by Jaiswal. 40 he was overnight. Now 143. Goes on the back foot, and Roach again effecting a wonderful stop there. How well he has fielded at that cover point position, Kemar Roach.
Not out. Not out. Pitching outside the leg stump, so it's not out.
And this one spins away from Jaiswal. Good delivery there from Afanaz, and certainly bowling very well for his captain here today. Spinning away and going into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. So I can't really rely on the judgment of Heston Charles. That's why I remain silent when he asked his questions. The over comes to an end. A good one by Afanaz. Just one run coming off that over. He completes his 13th over, and 33 runs has been scored off him.
Well, I didn't say it was out, Andy. Well, we seen the energy there with the music and in the background, and the crowd certainly is very pleasing. We may have at least 4,005 persons here, Andy Carter. Probably 5,000 here about.
That again is Heston's judgment.
Yeah.
I dare not go into that. I leave all these things to Heston. He maybe knows figures much more than I do. But what I can say, on a Thursday, it's a very good crowd.
Very pleasing.
Good crowd on the Clem John and Caleb Laura stand. You can see the Grayson Shillingford and Irving Shillingford stand, well populated. The cricket has been intriguing, intense, although not in favor of the West Indies, but Dominicans love good cricket. As Kohli goes back, plays towards mid-wicket, Hakim Jordan gives chase, and the batsmen cross comfortably for 2 runs. So 2 more to Virat Kohli. He's on 36. India 312 for the loss of 2. They lead by 162 on first innings. So
they're looking to really put up a good total there.
Warrican bowls to Kohli. Kohli is stroking it back along the track. The bowler fields, and there is no run. So possibly This could be the final over of the day's play. Warwican 1 for 82. Left arm goes to Coley. Coley is played back. A good judger of length. Playing back. Judges the length well. Plays it to short leg. Shandapur fields and there is no run. Warwican again. From the river end. Quick flat delivery. Once again, Coley is compactly behind it. Plays it back along the track. The bowler fields and there is no run. So 2 more balls left in this over. Here is Warwican. Will he flight this one? Let's watch. Flies this one, but Coley is equal to it. Plays it on the offside. Playing for the close of play, Coley. An experienced campaigner. One who has made 28 centuries and 28 half centuries on the list of the highest scorers for India, along with people like the coach Rahul Dravid and Sachin Tendulkar. Long list. As here is a flighted delivery by Warwican, brings about the end of the over. Coley is walking away. Coley is not out on 36. Jaiswal not out on 143. 143 of 350 balls. Coley 36 of 96 balls. And a session where we had 32 overs, 67 runs were scored, and the West Indies did not take a wicket. So at stumps on the second day of this cycle pure Agapafi test, the Indians, they close on 312 for the loss of 2.
Job well done. Andy Carter by the Indians?
Yes, they would have come out here with a plan